Good morning. Happy Shana Rabbah. Welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day number 192, part 3. Using Sefer Chinuch Mitzvah Day keeps us all this way. Continuing with the prohibition, the ervah of one's sister, Parshas Acharei Mois in the book of Ikra. Chinuch discusses a law that is only tangentially, I hope I said that right, related to this mitzvah and actually sets the parameters of the prohibition of one's father's wife's daughter, which is Mitzvah 96. Among the laws of the mitzvah is that which the sages of blessed memory stated, that only the daughter of one's father's wife, who is also his sister, meaning that his father had begot her, is prohibited to him under the prohibition of one's father's wife's daughter. However, the daughter of one's father's wife who is not his sister, that is, in a case where one's father's wife had a daughter from another man, right? The father married a woman who already had a daughter. This one, his stepsister, is not at all prohibited to him. She is certainly not prohibited on account of one's sister, and she is not his sister, and she is not prohibited on account of one's father's wife's daughter, because even that prohibition applies only to one who is also the father's daughter, and is thus one's sister. Rather, it is permitted for a person to marry a stepsister, even as a first recourse. You can, that's no problem, marry a stepsister. Many great people have done that. And we do not decree that she be rabbinically prohibited on account of one's sister, as there is no basis at all for such a decree. This mitzvah applies in every location at all times, as far as one who transgresses this prohibition and cohabits with his sister. God forbid, the law is the following: if he transgresses intentionally, he is liable to chorus, excision alone, and not to death. That is to say, even if all of the regular requirements for capital punishment are fulfilled, he transgressed in the presence of witnesses, and with prior warning, this matter carries only liability to chorus alone and not to execution. Interesting. If he transgresses prohibition unintentionally, he must bring a fixed chatas offering. Okay, we will continue with the home stretch, God willing, after Yom Tov, Wednesday night. Thanks for listening. Response to Future Mitzvah, 36 100 the gold. Yom Tov.